Last season, Manchester City ended our Champions League dream. This season, we beat them in the league phase. Now, we've got a chance to knock them out of the competition and get our revenge. Welcome back to the Sir Alex Ferguson Aberdeen Challenge here on Super Sammy Plays. Last episode, we reached the Champions League quarter-finals for the first time in this save after comfortably seeing off Fenerbahce. But our reward couldn't have been much tougher. A reunion with the same Manchester City side that knocked us out of Europe last season. We did beat them earlier on this season in the league phase, but across two legs is a totally different challenge. So, can this Aberdeen side prove they're ready to take the next step? Let's get into it and find out. And we're going to be starting with something positive with Diakate improvements. And just getting a few of those technicals up. Maybe not the ones you'd necessarily want, but he has already got good marking and decent tackling and heading. So he is certainly on the right track. We also have Caicedo and Hernandez both dropped their concern for the lack of football, which is always good to see the squad dynamics improving as, this sometimes can become a bit of a morale manager. And the first game of the episode is going to be an away trip to Livingston in this one. And inside the opening 5 minutes, João Gomez playing it to Jay Robinson and Marinowicz shooting the deflection coming back to Pafundi, and he put it into the back of the net to make it 1-0. And then 9 minutes into the second half, the corner coming in from Pafundi, it gets cleared to Martin Birnblad, and he shoots all the way across goal into the bottom corner to make it 2-0. And then just a couple of minutes later, the ball over the top, finding Pafundi, he pulls it into the middle, and Marinowicz gets on the score sheet to make it 3. And then 10 minutes later, another corner, Eric Adam finding the big unit centre-half Sarifi, and at the second time of asking, he puts it into the back of the net as we go on to win 4-0. And after that one, we go straight into another game, another away trip, this time with Motherwell. And inside the opening 3 minutes, Hernandez pulling it across. It gets cleared back out. João Gomez finds Hernandez again. And this time he shoots into the back of the net to make it 1-0 and give us an early lead. We then double down on that lead in the 7th minute with Marinowicz getting his first goal of the game to make it 2-0. And then Marinowicz, unfortunately, gets this one taken off him for an own goal as we go 3-0 up. And then Marinowicz involved again, this time finding Martin Birnblad as he shoots into the bottom corner and makes it 4. And then the 74th minute, the corner from Sato. Sarifi hits the bar. He comes back out to the other centre-back, Silva, and he finds Marinowicz. He puts it into the back of the net for his second goal of the game. And then another corner, cleared as far as Eric Adam. He finds Silva, who turns and shoots past the goalkeeper to make it 6. And then in the 86th minute, Marinowicz over the top to Canazon, who rounds off the scoring for us at least anyway, as we go 7-0 up. A consolation for Motherwell in the 87th minute as the cross coming in from McAteer finding Alan Connolly as the game finishes 7-1, and certainly the sort of form you want to go into the quarter-final of the Champions League with. What you don't want is one of your strikers getting injured for 3 to 4 weeks with sprained knee ligaments, so certainly not ideal losing Birnblad, but the form this guy, Wojciech Marinowicz, is showing, he is absolutely on fire at the moment, involved in everything that we're doing good going forward. And really pleased. You can see their highest average rating as well, 7.42. Doing bits for us. Certainly not one of the players I expected to be at the forefront this season. But he was a signing we made for the future. And maybe the future is now. As the average rating, like I say, he is top with 7.42. Funk as well, another one of our youngsters, down in 3rd place. And kind of would have expected us to have dominated the top 10 or so, but there is a couple of Celtic players in amongst it. I say a couple. There's 4, Gini, Gittins, Mora and Takai. Not entirely sure who the last one is, but... And our old nemesis, Robbie Yaw, rounding out the top 10. In terms of the goals, though, Simone Pafundi is joint top with Abdel Karim. So nobody really dominating this one. Canazon, though, in 5th place with 10 goals. Pretty happy with that. And Andrew Payne, our loanee player, also in there as well. In terms of assists, I would imagine Canazon is near the top of this. He is near the top. He is at the top. 3 in front of Gini. He has been unbelievable for us in terms of assists this season. Marinowicz as well has done well to actually get on there in 3rd place. So very pleased with him. And he's making some positive improvements as well, as you would expect for the youngster. Reminder, we only signed him for 3.3 million from Lech Poznan, so that was pretty good going. And all those upwards arrows looking great. 10 goals and 12 assists for only 14 starts and 18 sub appearances is very good going. And yeah, certainly surprising, but maybe only surprising because it was a little bit quicker than we had imagined. He certainly looked like he was going to be good for us later on down the line, just didn't expect it to be this soon. But I think Sato hasn't actually played too much, so that is another reason why he's actually got so much game time, and he has certainly taken advantage of that. This is the current player stats for us. 18 goals for Pafundi. He's our top scorer. Like I say, Kanazun was doing well with the assists. He's got 14 goals as well as 18 assists. So, yeah, certainly putting up the numbers I really wanted him to do. Andreas Hernandez not doing too bad either with 7 and 13. And, yeah, very, very pleased with the numbers that the team's putting up this season. And as well as all those numbers he's put up, in the Next Gen Top 50 Wonder Kids list, look who is at number 1. It is Wojciech Marinowicz, number 1. Unsurprising, he is phenomenal. And he's going to get another chance to prove it here as we welcome Rangers. Big clash near the top of the table, and certainly not the start we were looking for as we concede in the 17th minute, going 1-0 down. Hernandez then crossing to the far post, headed down from Robinson, and Canazon gets us back level until the referee checks with VAR and the goal is given for an offside and is ruled out. So, we miss a chance to go level thanks to VAR, and then Jarrett goes straight up the other end and puts Rangers 2-0 up in the 38th minute. Certainly not what we were looking for in this one, but in the 75th minute, Moise Keane, the corner coming back to him, and he shoots past the goalkeeper who just stands there and watches it go by as we pull it back to 2-1. And then in typical Fergie time fashion, Carlos Alexander, he crosses in, he gets cleared, comes back out to Robinson. He cuts in on his right foot and finds the bottom corner as we level the game up and draw 2-2. And we don't even get time to breathe as it is straight into the next one, and this is the big one. The first leg against Manchester City at Pittodrie, one that you're certainly going to hope to win. We were looking to take a lead to the Etihad, as we all know it can go terribly wrong away from home. And in the 24th minute, Pafundi finds Marinowicz. He spreads it wide to Canazon. Canazon beating the defender, going all the way, pulling it back to Robinson, who puts us 1-0 up inside the 24th minute. And then 12 minutes later, it nearly gets even better. Canazon getting free down the right, cutting back on his left, going backwards and forwards and pulling it into the middle. And Jay Robinson shoots all the way across goal. Unfortunately, doesn't double his lead as the scoreline remains 1-0. But right on the stroke of half-time, Jay Robinson does in fact double his lead, double Aberdeen's lead as we go 2-0 up. And on to the second half, it was a bit of an onslaught here from Manchester City, looking to get back into this one. Erling Haaland laying it off with the shot from Bischoff going just over the crossbar. And then in the 63rd minute, Haaland getting free, goes for the cheeky dink. But thankfully, it goes over the crossbar and we survive. And then we go straight down the other end in the 66th minute. Canazon getting free again, pulling it back to Carlos Alexander. And he shoots low and hard at the near post as we go 3-0 up. But just 3 minutes later, Keenan Yildiz with a great finish into the bottom corner to give Manchester City a lifeline as the scoreline becomes 3-1. And then Ryan Cherky out wide, pulling it back to Keith Smith, coming into Haaland in the middle. And surprisingly, he misses the target as we go on to win 3-1. So, certainly a massive win for us there. Canazon on form, unsurprising. He has been doing it for us all season. And yeah, very big victory for us. Very happy. And yeah, we've got a bit of a lead to protect in the second leg at the Etihad. We have quickly got a game to deal with before that one as we have the game against Dundee away from home. And in the 60th minute, not a game of too many chances, but Eric Adam going down the left, running past everyone, slipping it through to Antu Fati, who shoots across goal into the bottom corner to give us a 1-goal lead, which actually was the only goal of the game as we win 1-0. And next up, it is that second leg against Manchester City at the Etihad. And yeah, like I say, we did have a 3-1 lead in this one, looking to protect our lead. But obviously Manchester City were going to be trying to get back into it as best they could, with Bischoff shooting just wide in the opening 7 minutes. And then in the 32nd, the shot coming in. Thankfully, it is saved by Shahaj as we survive for a little bit longer. Ryan Cherky involved this time. 40th minute, he goes down the left, pulls it back to Erling Haaland, but another good save from Shahaj puts it out for a corner. And then right on the stroke of half-time, Bischoff finding Haaland. He spreads it wide to Ryan Cherky down the left. And he's going to run all the way and try and shoot, but a comfortable save in the end for Shahaj as we go in at the break 0-0. So, on to the second half. It looked like it was going to be more of the same. Tom Bischoff shooting from range, comfortably over the bar again. And then 5 minutes later, Sarifi finds Canazun for our first chance of the game. Canazun finds Sato, back to Canazun, and his effort is saved by Donnarumma and goes out for a throw-in. And then in the 85th minute, Manchester City throwing everything but the kitchen sink at it. Canazun sends it over the top to Maranowitz. He gets it on his left foot and fires past Donnarumma to make it 4-1 on aggregate, 1-0 on the day. And we are going to the semi-finals. So what an unbelievable result that is, beating Manchester City 4-1 on aggregate. The first time we got to the quarterfinals on this save, and now the first time we've got to the semi-finals. Unbelievable result. Couldn't be happier for the boys, and it is unsurprising that Canazun and Maranowitz are the ones that really did the damage, as well as Jay Robinson as well. He did get a couple of goals, so we should probably give him a mention, shouldn't we? We have also received 10.8 million for playing in that quarter-final, so yeah, certainly a little boost to the finances as well. But before we play the semi-finals, we have got a couple of games to get through, and one is going to be a Scottish Cup semi-final at Hampden Park as we play Rangers. And after just drawing with them 2-2 in the league, we were going to be looking to get back to winning ways in this one. And not the start we were looking for, as Kenny Martin puts Rangers 1-0 up again for the second game in a row. Maybe not the same player, but certainly the same scoreline. But this time we do get back level. Simone Pafundi finding the back of the net to make it 1-1 in the 49th minute. And then 20 minutes later, Robinson finds Caicedo, the centre-back, up high, pulling it back to Robinson, and his deflected effort puts us 2-1 in front. But Rangers weren't done there, as Chamiti fires a ball through to Diamonde. He slips it into the middle, and Sam Dick gets them back level to make it 2-2. Before, in extra time, 98th minute, Eric Adam, down the right this time, putting back on his left, finds Hernandez. Hernandez plays it into the middle, and who else than Maranowitz to put it into the back of the net as we go 3-2 up and advance through to the final of the Scottish Cup. So Aberdeen rising to see off Rangers. Good result. Did take us to extra time to get through, and we are going to be playing Kilmarnock in the final of the Scottish Cup. So we'll be looking to go back-to-back in the Scottish Cup, as we won it last year as well as the league. We've got another game against St Mirren at home. And like I've mentioned previously, they're always a bit tricky for us, St Mirren, these days. They have certainly got better. But they gave us a great chance in the 53rd minute, giving us a penalty. And Canazun fires past the goalkeeper. He goes the wrong way. And we go 1-0 up. And remember when I said St Mirren are tricky customers? Well, Green looked like he got them back level in the 94th minute, what would have been nearly the last kick of the game. But thankfully, this goal was ruled out, and I can't lie, it looked like it was onside to me. So, very unfortunate for them, but we do pick up another 3 points with the 1-0 win. And as you can see from this page, it doesn't actually tell you in message form specifically, but we are playing Liverpool in the semi-final of the Champions League. So, it is going to be another English team, unfortunately. It would have been nice for a nice little European trip to maybe Barcelona or something, but I'm actually not entirely sure who's actually left in the competition. Oh, no, there it is. It says Real Madrid and Arsenal right there. Silly me. But, yeah, we are going to be playing Liverpool, and unfortunately, we're not going to be playing with Semi Kilisoy, as he has picked up an injury and is only out for 8 to 12 days, but that 8 to 12 days does mean he's going to miss both legs of the Champions League tie. So that is certainly unfortunate for him. Unfortunate for us. Certainly, we would have liked to go into it full strength. But at least we do have Michael Funk back from that fracture. I think it was a fractured foot. Yeah, stress fracture of the foot. He's going to be back, so we will have that option at least. But yeah, Semi missing out is certainly not ideal. So I just thought I'd show you the schedule before we head out. And yeah, after that loss and draw in the last episode where we drew to Killy and lost to Celtic, we have certainly put things right. Our only draw, or only drop points in this episode rather, have been against Rangers with that 2-2 draw. Couple of big games coming up. Obviously, we've got Kilmarnock in the Scottish Cup final in the next episode, right at the end of the season. Obviously, Celtic Rangers again in the league. But the big one is going to be the Champions League semi-final for the first time. Can we get to the final? We've got Liverpool to overcome. So let's see how that goes in the next episode. So we wanted revenge against Manchester City. And after beating them 4-1 on aggregate, I'd say that's as good as revenge as you're going to get. We're now into the Champions League semi-finals where Liverpool await. But that injury to Semi means he will miss both legs, so we're going to have to do it without him. Domestically, we're still fighting on every front as well. We're into the Scottish Cup final and we're still in the bit of a title race with Celtic and Rangers in the league. So, with all these competitions still to play for, this season could become something very special. But that is going to do it for this one. And if you've enjoyed it, do me a favour, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.